lesson can you learn? Because every loss isn't a loss. It's a lesson. You can measure my arms, but you can't measure my heart.
I just can't lose. I just can't lose. Listen, I just can't lose.
Welcome to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today is no different than any other day. I have Kusudi. Today we have the visionary CEO and founder of Creators of Reality Academy, an online platform empowering people to achieve financial freedom and personal fulfillment. Over the last 5 years, he's transformed his life through insights from top leaders, billionaires, personal development experts, and now helping thousands unlock their true potential and speaking to audiences worldwide and coaching at a high level entrepreneurs to align their energy and purpose. If you're ready to step into your greatness, get ready for this conversation.
Let's get it.
Oh, before we start, need a fun fact.
A fun fact?
Yeah.
What is a fun fact? A fun fact, I played the violin in middle school.
Okay.
And I did good too. Like I won gold. I competed in it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't picked it up since, but that's been something I'm like, I always think about picking back up.
Yeah. My fun fact, I can't play not no instrument at all. Like maybe the guitar a little bit because my great grandfather taught me how to do with the thing. Yeah. So a little bit I would say that, but I never was in a class. I never nothing. And like I can be on beat, but I can't make a beat. Yeah. Like I'm horrible at the drumming. Yeah. Like I was never that guy at lunch. Nope, wasn't me. I was a rapper.
I wanted to play drums. It's like when I went to school, you had to choose. They gave you a slip, and there was like 3 slots, and you had to choose. And it had to at least been 2 different categories. So like choir, band, orchestra. You know what I mean? You couldn't choose like all one. Yeah. So I chose drums and saxophone first. And then I didn't get them, so they gave me the violin. I just put violin last. I didn't even think I was going to get it. I didn't want to get it. I really wanted to do the drums, but it landed on violin. And I liked it, though. It was player.
Yeah. Music is definitely is. Like, as you get, kind of when you're younger or wherever you grow up, it's kind of like, oh, you play an instrument. But as you get older, like, I like jazz. I want to go to an orchestra and see that and different stuff because I like music. And it's like, I'm not one genre.
For sure. Yeah, you appreciate it.
So we're going to get into your journey. Basically, why, when, and how did you start what you're doing right now?
Why, when, and how?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I help people discover and live in their purpose. That's what I do great, and I work with highly successful people who have the financial freedom, but they're missing out on the personal fulfillment and spiritual alignment. And it's when I discovered my purpose that my life changed. So human nature is typically the biggest thing that made a difference in your life. You want to give it away to others. Mm-hmm. If you go to an event and it was great, you want to tell other people about the event. If you read a book, you want to tell everybody. If you watch a video, that's just human nature. Yep. And that's how purpose is. And 80% of people, according to the New York Times, they don't know what their purpose is. So my mission was just to help the world discover that for themselves, man. And that's when I set out to do what I do now, which is speaking and coaching.
Yep. You're right about that. Like when you get something good, so a new meal, you're like, hey, you should try this or whatever. And dang, I ain't look at it like, when you transform yourself, sometimes you do tell people and they just don't listen. But then But
think about what you're doing right now, the Underdawg podcast. Yeah. It's because at a certain point you feel like you was the underdog. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that became your brand and it became the highlight that's what purpose is. Yeah. But most people, they don't know who they are or that they don't have that connected within themselves in order to know what message they have for the world. You know what I mean? And that's what I help people discover. It's like, what's that purpose? What's that thing within you? Because there's no worse feeling than being created and not knowing the reason why.
That's so true.
And most people have no idea why they were created in this world. So if you don't know why, then you can't be acting in alignment with yourself, with God, with spirit, with your ancestors. So that's what I help people do is get that alignment within themselves.
Yep, that is so true. And it took me like till I was like 30 to realize what my purpose was, why I was born the way it was. And the other day, I think it was like a week ago, and I was in the Uber, see you later, son, love you. And I was just like, man, wonder if I would be the same person I am today if I wasn't born this way.
Not at all.
And it's like, dang, wonder what that would look like because I'm thinking of my son, right, with sports.
Yeah.
It's like he's more talented than me, and all I had was heart and, you know, some skill.
Yeah.
So I can't expect him to have that dog that I had because I had to have that dog.
Exactly.
So I had to, you know, it was like an aha moment.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I got to be a little more lenient on him because he's only 10. I got to let him find his dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you had that within yourself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So all these experiences that we go through, it creates the person that we are today.
Yep.
And anyone taken out, you wouldn't be the same person at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I do, bro.
Yeah, I know. I've seen your journey from like kind of when you first started, and it's like it's awesome to see.
I appreciate
and some people look at it as like, dang, why I ain't there yet? Because everybody's journey different.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you're not the only person. It's a lot of people that I kind of started off with, and I see them, and I'm like, okay, but I had to go through certain things that I went through in the last few years to make me who I am today. To realize, like you said, the underdog. Like I own that. Like I'm cool with being the underdog and helping other underdogs.
Yeah.
And that's just like how you gotta, you know, work your journey. You can't look at other people and be jealous or anything of that sort. You can ask questions, see how they got there, but you celebrate in the background for people that you've seen start. And it's like, cool, man, they really do it. Okay, they did it. I seen them start. Now I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's gonna get there, but I know I can do it. And it's dope to see people like that, to really see like, dang, man, they really doing it. And it's because what we do is, you know, we're, like you said, you're changing lives. And it's cool to see somebody changing other people's lives in other places, not just here. Like you've been all over the world doing it. So it's like, okay, that's accomplishable. Because sometimes we, in the community we're in, we're like, I don't know if I can do it. I seen them do it on TV, but I don't really know them on TV. But when you actually see somebody, and you're just like, okay, bet.
And to celebrate somebody else is to celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And I always live by this is never try to shine when the light ain't on you. You know, most people, they want to shine. The light's not on you right now. Now, when the light is on you, show out.
Yeah.
But don't try to shine when the light ain't on you, and clap for the person who the light is on. Because anytime you celebrate something else, there's a part of you that's celebrating yourself in that moment. Yeah. But anytime you hating on somebody else, there's a part of you that's doubting yourself. There's a part of you that's mad at yourself. There's a part of you that's beating up yourself. Yep. It's life is a mirror. So if however I treat you, that's how I'm treating myself, vice versa. Yep. So I celebrate myself for the progress that I make, even when at certain moments of my life, the progress didn't look to the extent of somebody else's progress. Yeah. But if I keep celebrating that person's progress, I'm celebrating myself. It's just going to bring in more to myself because this is not a scarce universe. Yeah. You know, this is an abundant universe. Yeah. So to have a hate on somebody or feel like, damn, that person get an opportunity, I didn't get that opportunity. You looking at it from a scarcity mindset is that there's limited opportunity out here. Yeah. So I celebrate everybody, bro. Like, I love to see people winning because just the mere fact that I'm seeing it, there's something that brought that experience to my reality at this moment. To see that and see somebody winning, it's like, okay, because this experience is brought to my reality, there's obviously a part of me that it's coming up. There's a win coming up. There's something coming up. That's how I look at things. Yep. So I celebrate that. You know what I mean? So I don't talk down on nobody when somebody's low, and I celebrate everybody when they high. You know what I mean? And that's just how I am.
So I had a moment. So it's been some awards and stuff going on or opportunities, and I didn't get the opportunity or any recognition. And I was talking to somebody, they was like, it's just not your time. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I didn't look at it as like, oh, well, this person, I was like, okay, I see why this person did. I need to do a little bit more. Exactly. Like I wasn't upset at myself. I'm happy for that person because they put in the work, but it's like, why did they get chosen over me? What are they doing? And that's how you're supposed to look at it. That's how you're supposed to look at it. Yeah. You're not supposed to look like, man, they ain't not. No, and when you have that mentality, you stay in the position that you at. Yeah. Because like you said, like, it's times where you might want to do something that your old self did, and you're like, ooh, that could be easy to do, but then it's like that karma gonna come back. Because whatever I put out there is gonna come back. And it's gonna come back worse. Yeah. Because karma don't have a date. Like I've had some karma where I had to look back, dang, I did some stuff like this in college. Shoot. Yeah. And it's like you said, you got to put that out in the world of how you want to be treated. But if you don't know who you are, you don't know how you want to be treated. So I'm glad that we have people like you to show people how to love yourself and own who you are so you can go out in the world. Because I was saying on the last podcast, everybody has a dope story. Nobody's story is lower than anybody else's. Nope. It's just you got to own your story.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't own your story.
Yeah.
So over the years, you work with many entrepreneurs, guiding them from side hustlers to full-time, some full-time to make it time, making all kinds of money. So what are 3 traits or habits that you can, tell somebody that's kind of a side hustler wanting to be a full-time hustler to make that transition?
Yeah, for sure. So number 1 is you got to love what you do. That's why purpose is the foundation of everything. Your greatest potential is locked inside of your highest purpose. And if you don't know what that purpose is, you'll never meet the greatest version of yourself. So it got to be rooted in your purpose. Purpose is the foundation for all things great. Anything that you're building on top of that, if it's not rooted in purpose, because purpose is what you love to do. That's what it's not just what you love to do, it's what you are called to do. It's your instruction from God. So if it's not based off of that, then most likely it's based off of the environment and things outside of yourself. So you've seen other people win. You've seen other people make money doing this, so you want to do this. But the problem with that, though, is there's always going to be another opportunity to make money. Bro, there's no opportunity better than the next. It's just the opportunity that you choose and you stick with. But it's hard to stick with it when you don't love what you do. So the moment shit get rough, you're going to be on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got to love it to weather the seasons of it. If you don't love it, the moment it's winter, you out and trying to find where summer is. But when you love it, you like, okay, I know it's going through a winter, but spring going to be back. And you willing to go with the seasons of it, right? So number 1 is it got to be rooted in your purpose. It got to be rooted in something greater than yourself, in just my opinion. Because then you're not just working off I'm cold. I know I'm cold. But I'm not cold to do everything that I've done, bro. There's a lot of God in my life. You know what I mean? I'm not that cold. I've done some great things. I've been part of some wonderful conversations. I've been part of some amazing tables. I've experienced some amazing things. I've traveled around the world. I've spoken around the world. I'm not that cold. I'm cold, but I'm not that cold. You know what I mean? So I got to leave room for God and spirit of my ancestors. And the only way I could do that is if it's rooted in my purpose, right?
Yep.
I'll say number 2 is you got to have a level of commitment, man. Motivation will get you going, but it's not going to keep you going. Motivation gets you going. Commitment keeps you going.
Man.
You got to have a commitment that no matter what, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
When I was here in the city, bro, and I just got off of house arrest and I'm living in my mom's basement and I got sentenced to 3 years on house arrest and I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. And I started diving into personal development and watching speakers and everything. And I said, I want to be a speaker. I made a commitment, bro.
Yeah.
And there was nothing I was going to change that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't simple. I didn't just start making money, bro. I was working at a bakery making bagels for Walmart for damn near 2 years.
Yeah.
My first job was cleaning the train for $10 an hour just for 3 hours. And I had to drive 40 minutes down south just to go there. Man. And back. Yeah. So it's but I made a commitment and said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and I'm willing to figure it out. Yep. And there's been a lot of up and downs in this, bro. It's not simple. No. It hasn't been sweet. Yeah. But my commitment is what keeps me going through it all, And I think number 3 is you gotta have a vision, bro. If you got a purpose and you got a vision and you got the commitment to do it, then it's nothing will stop you from doing it. Yeah. You gotta have a vision though. Everybody has sight, but everybody don't have vision. Yep. There's a big difference between seeing and having a vision, you know? And, sight is focusing on what you can see. Having a vision is focusing on the unseen. Yep. I always tell people focus on what you saw, not what you see, until what you see becomes what you saw. If you had a vision of something, focus on what you saw. So you had a vision of how life is supposed to look for yourself, right? Yep. So focus on that, not what you see. What you see right now is the hardship. Your bank account ain't there. You ain't staying in the right home. Your car ain't there. Situation not there. Focus on what you saw, not what you see. Yep. Until what you see becomes what you saw. Because then everything is temporary, but your focus is what makes it permanent. Yep. So somebody would take a temporary situation of hardship and they focuses on that. And your focus creates feelings. And we don't think things into this universe. We feel things. We live in a feeling vibratory universe. Yep. So now you're feeling the vibration of this lack, of this hardship. And now that's becoming your reality. And you're doing that over and over and over again. So instead of asking God for the promise, for the million, for speaking on stages, from doing all this, now you're caught up in this cycle of asking God, can I just get enough money to make it to the end of this month? And you've been making it to the end of this month for the last 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years. When are you going to ask God for more? But when are you going to have a vision of something greater than yourself? You know what I mean? So you got to have a vision of something greater. And if what you saw is not your current reality, then you got to know that your current reality is temporary.
Yeah.
It's just it's not going to be there. You know, so if you have those if you have a purpose, you build a vision around that, and then you have a level of commitment, saying come rain, sleet, or snow, high or high water, that I'm going to make this happen. And every fiber of my being is committed to this and nothing is going to change it, you'll 100% get it. The universe has a way of conforming itself in order to make it work. Like, damn, he keeps showing up. He keeps showing up. Hey, man, let Kusudi in, man. Just let him in. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Like, he keep knocking. He ain't going nowhere. We got to let him in. And that's just how it worked. Yeah,
no, you on point. Like, that was me. Like, I didn't know what my purpose was. Then I realized what the purpose was. And then when I started the podcast and speaking, like, I had to make a commitment, like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care if nobody else want to be a part of it, anything. This is what I'm going to do. And then like you said, the vision got to be bigger than you. Like, the vision that I have for myself, if I told some of the people I hung out with, they'd be like, boy, you crazy. Okay, you right. Yeah. I am crazy. I'm crazy enough to think that I'm going to get it done. But like you said earlier, you got to have God on your side too. Like, I realized that, like, you can think that you cold. You can think that I'm that nigga. Yeah, I'm him. Whatever. No. Because you'll go in a room and you'll be like, oh, there go the All-Stars. Yeah. Oh, those the superstars. Oh, those the future Hall of Famers. Oh, yeah. Dang, I ain't even get picked. Dang. I thought I was cold. But no, you didn't. You weren't as cold as you thought because you didn't take the time to research, to realize what are some of the stuff that you have to do. People think speaking is easy. It's not. Nah. Like, you got to go up there. You got to know how to breathe, change up your tone, actually teach and read the room. Because you could have something. I done been and seen the kids, oh, these little jokers in here cutting up. Okay, let me switch up everything that I'm about to do for what's going on right here. And then the next class could go back to the regular presentation. Yeah. But you have to understand what it is that you want to do and go out and learn it. Yeah. Like kids these days, they see highlights. All they see is TikTok and Instagram. They don't actually go and watch YouTube and watch the games and see Steph was 1 for 12 last game, but he made this next game. Yeah. And I'm showing my son and my team like, hey, y'all, it's okay to miss. It's okay to have a bad game. Yeah. Like, next play. Because like you said, when you get on them feelings get in the way and you like, oh my goodness.
Permanent. It's like you miss one shot. You know what I mean? Temporary. That's just one shot. You got nothing. But now your focus is on that missed shot. Now you feeling like, and now you just carrying that into each and every play. Yep. And that's how people treat the game of life. Yep. It's like you had a bad month, you had a bad year. Now you just stuck in that same position. And it's like when I say you can't do nothing through God, it's like I can help everybody in this world discover their purpose, but I can't create the circumstance where that person scrolled on Instagram and saw this clip and say, I want to work with him. Like, I can't do that. Yeah. I can't create the circumstance for this person to reach out to me and they have the money in their bank and they happen to be going through this situation at this time and they know I'm the exact person to help them. I can't create that. You know what I mean? Like, so it don't matter how cold I am. I can't create all the things that it takes in order for this whole thing to happen. Yeah. You know, I can't, you speaking on stages. Yeah, I'm cool, but I didn't create that stage to speak on. Like, somebody else had to have that goal and have that vision and actually carry it out and get all these, like, so there's a lot of things that go into place that you can't do nothing without God. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because there's only, you're very limited, you know? Yeah, so definitely. Like, your vision should never be based off of what you think is possible that you could do. If your vision is based off of what you think you could do, your vision is too small. Yeah. Now, my vision is like, is bigger than what I think I could do. 'Cause I got to leave room for God. Yeah. I got to leave room for spirit, for my ancestors. Yeah. Like, if I have a vision or a goal and I know 100% I could do it, that's too small. Yeah. Because I'm just basing it off of my skills. So I'm not basing it off of people coming into my life. I'm not based off of new information coming into my life. I'm not basing it off of God coming and opening up doors. I'm not basing it off of anything. So you got to leave room for progression and growth and something bigger than yourself coming to help you achieve that thing as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. 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 I like that. So, in building Creators of Reality Academy, what are some impactful tools or strategies that you've helped entrepreneurs unlock personal fulfillment? Yeah, so, I think when it comes to helping somebody unlock personal fulfillment, it starts with really redefining success. You know, is the westernized concept of success is hyper fixated on financial gain.
Yep.
So in the West, that's how we are. It's materialistic, it's capitalism. On the East, is hyper focused on inner peace, inner alignment. So the hyper focus is on spirituality, religion, and things, but it's not a focus on finances at all. It's really against that. So my philosophy is them both combined. So success to me is not just financial freedom. It's financial freedom, personal fulfillment, and spiritual alignment. Those are the three components to me of what success is. Because I don't care if you say, oh, I don't even want, it's not about everybody want millions of dollars. You don't have to have millions of dollars. Everybody don't. But you should want to be able to take care of yourself, and you should be able to want to be able to help others and have the means in order to do that.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't think anybody feels like you come past somebody, you want to help that person, but you just don't have the means. Like, now you want to have the means to help them. So it's not that everybody has to become a millionaire, but there should be some level of financial freedom you have to carry out your visions and to carry out the visions that God has given to you, you know? So it really starts with redefining success of what does it even look like? And now when we start talking about personal fulfillment and spiritual alignment, the fulfillment is going to come from the purpose. The spiritual alignment, that's going to come from God. You know, figuring out, okay, how is it that we could cultivate that alignment between you and source, and how can I start teaching you the spiritual principles of success? We live in a spiritual world. This is not a physical. This is a physical plane, but this is the lowest plane there is. Yeah, like there's a higher plane. There's a spiritual plane, and once you operate with the spiritual laws of success, the law of attraction, law of vibration, law of compensation, law of reciprocation, all these different spiritual laws of success, then that's what's going to guarantee success as well. Even in the Bible, that's what it's telling you is operate in accordance with laws. Yeah. So it's like, and laws is not a good or a bad thing. It's not a moral, ethical thing. It's laws. If you do this, here is the byproduct. So that somebody could say, oh, how is somebody a terrible person, but they're a millionaire? Yeah. Because it's not, making money is not based off of morality. It's based off of laws. If you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to make money. It's not based off of how, if you're a good person, if you have a good spirit, if you have a good, it's not based off of any of that. If you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to make money. Yeah. You know, so how do we operate in accordance with those laws in a positive way that connects you to something greater than yourself, and you're moving in operation for something bigger than yourself, not just off of the materialistic things, but off of God's spirit and personal fulfillment and the way and difference you want to make in this world.
Yeah, I like that. And I always looked at success as different than more than just money, because that's why I started Underdawg Talk, because everybody has a story, and whatever part of their story they're at, they are successful because they overcame something, some type of adversity. Like, I'm successful. There's a lot of people that were born like me, born similar, that can't do half the things that I do, or don't have the confidence to even go do it. So for that, it's like I'm successful in that aspect. But now, like you said, you want to have that financial freedom, because it was earlier, I was in the Dollar Tree, and this lady her car had got declined, and it was like under like $5. Yeah. But she ended up having to change, but I'm like, okay, I can go help her in the situation I am. But what if I'm at the grocery store and the lady car declined and it's $150? Right. I'm not right now. I can't say, oh, I can help you, but I want to help you. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you want to get to that point of the financial freedom so you can, because I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of millionaires and billionaires are giving people. Yeah. They give back. They help, and that's how they make more money. You think just, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna do for this. No, you have to, and not just give to your friends and family because they got their hands out. Right. Like actually creating foundations and actually doing this in the community and stuff of that sort. Yeah. And that's how you make more money, but people don't realize that. So I like the way that you broke down success, because it's not always about money. Nah, and you can talk to people. I've talked to like my brother. He used to be like, oh, it's about money. You ain't got this. Like, no, bro. It's not about that. Because I guarantee if you put your two shoes in my feet, your 2 feet in my shoes, you couldn't walk a mile. You couldn't walk up the street. You couldn't walk out the front door. Yeah. So you can't say that I'm not successful because my bank account looks a certain way. Right. That just like no.
And I met a lot of people who, it's not even a meeting, in general, who make a lot of money. I've coached, and I'm coaching now, even millionaires who are miserable. Yeah. Because they had the picture that when I make the money, then I'll be happy. Then I'll have that. Then I'll feel that, only just to get it. And there's no worse feeling than having the money and still not being fulfilled and happy. because you spent so much time trying to chase it that when you got it, it don't. And now you look up and 20 years then went past, and you're like, damn, I still don't have any joy. I still don't have any happiness. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's bigger than just money, man.
Yeah, definitely. So I got a new segment. I did it the last time. It's called Myth versus Reality. So you gotta pick a number 1 through 12, and then I'm gonna say the myth, and then
7.
7. All right. Entrepreneurs need a groundbreaking idea. So, do you start with the groundbreaking idea, or do you take something that's existing and make it better?
Yeah, that's a myth. You don't need no groundbreaking idea.
Yeah.
Now, 90% of entrepreneurs is not having a groundbreaking. The only person having groundbreaking ideas is Nikola Tesla. I mean, not even Nikola Tesla, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have a groundbreaking idea. Most of the things that are created in this world, they're not even new ideas. There's concepts that somebody's just approved upon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Elon Musk himself, he's taken concepts and just approved upon it. You know what I mean? So if you're waiting for a groundbreaking idea, then, you know, so I was raising money for a company. I raised $1 million. I started a company and raised $1 million for a couple of years back. And in investing, it always has this principle, always stuck with me. When you're investing into a company, they have this concept of bet on the jockey, not the horse. Bet on the jockey, not the horse. Meaning that the horse is the idea, the jockey is the person with the idea. Mm-hmm. So everybody thinks they have the best idea. We don't invest off of ideas because ideas are a dime a dozen. Yeah. And you got the most groundbreaking idea. You got the best horse. But if there's a jockey that don't know how to ride this horse, then it don't matter. So bet on the jockey, not good. The horse. Yeah. So it's not about the idea. It's about the person. It's about the execution. Like even people, they be so scared to tell people their ideas like somebody's going to steal it. Like if you have that mindset, you have no idea how hard it is to actually manifest and create an actual idea into reality and bring it into fruition successfully and consistently over time and profitably. Yeah. Like that is one of the most hardest things that there is to do in this world. Mm-hmm. And so if you think somebody just gonna take your idea and now they about to go and put their money on the line, their time on the line, their family on the line, everything on the line in order to make, that's not about to happen, you know? So it's like, it's not about the idea. It's about the person. It's about the execution. Execution is 9 out of 10 things. That the idea is just 1 out of 10. The execution is everything after that. Yeah, you so right. Because you know how many ideas I've had, but I haven't executed on them. And you know how many ideas you might have had, and then you see somebody execute, you like, damn man, I had that idea back then. I could have made $1 million. Because it's not about the idea. Ideas are a dime a dozen. There's nobody in this road everybody in this road has had $1 million idea. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. Everybody does not have $1 million execution. Nope. You know what I mean? So it's not the idea at all. It's the execution. So you don't need to wait on a groundbreaking idea. Like, nah, success leave clues. Find the clue, find somebody who's getting successful and just duplicate what they're doing. You don't even have to recreate the wheel. This is the easiest time ever in history to become a millionaire. It's the easiest time in history. We have more accessibility to ideas and just everything than ever before. So it's not the idea. You got to get your execution up. Yeah. You on point with that one. Yeah, definitely. So for young people aspiring to step in the world, they maybe got an idea, groundbreaking idea. What's a piece of advice that you learned a little too late that could fast track them to success? Manage your money. Financial management. Do not have this, I could just make it back mentality. Like, I was in the street, so I'm used to fast money. I'm used to a lot of money. I'm used to just motion with it, Mm-hmm. Now, if you have the mindset, it's the same mindset, just at a different scale. So the same way it's about tens of thousands in the streets is the same way it's about hundreds of thousands and millions on the entrepreneur side of things. Yep. And if you don't have money is looking for a nice home to stay in. So you gotta have a home prepared. And it's like a woman. It's like, picture if like your girl, you never paid attention to her, you didn't acknowledge her, you didn't upkeep her. Like you didn't do all these different things. A woman wouldn't want to be with you. Well, money's the same way. Like if you're not looking at your money, if you're not tracking your money, if you're not tracking your finances, if you're not, praying over your money if you're not if you're not doing these different things and managing it, then it's over. God's first commandment to man was to manage. He told Adam manage the garden. God is looking for a manager. If you look in the Bible, in Genesis, it said God created the land and he withheld rain. And he didn't allow it to rain until Adam was put into the garden.
Yeah.
The rain is what causes growth. So where there is no manager, Adam was the manager. Where there is no manager, God's not going to let nothing grow. God's looking for a manager. He didn't let nothing grow in the world until there was a manager put in place. So why do you think your finances are going to grow if you're not managing your finances? It's with everything though, relationships, everything. So you got to learn how to become a manager. I'll say of finances, of relationships. You know, there's a lot of ways, you know, first coming up that I meet a lot of relationships, but I'm not managing them. I'm not pouring back into them. You know, so you got to learn how to manage finance. You got to learn how to you got to be a manager. I'll say that's the number one thing is you got to be a manager and you got to get people. If you're not the best at it, then just get people on your team, get people in your life that is great at it. But at the beginning, you gotta be managing it because it's easy to make money. It's hard as hell to keep it and multiply it.
Yeah.
And if you're not managing it, then there's no way you're leaking and you have no idea how much you're even leaking.
Yeah, that you on point with that. Like you got to look at your numbers. Like as scary as it can be, you got to look at them and really. That's really when even you could be going through hardship, but looking at your numbers and understanding it's like, okay, I'm really just not making enough. Like, I'm not spending money here. I'm budgeting. I'm doing that. Okay, now what can I do to make more?
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, I'm spending money way over here for what reason?
I ain't even messed up. And you looking at your money like, oh, man, I didn't even realize. Like, I spent $200 here. I spent $100 on some weed. I spent this going to the club. I spent $200 on some J's. Like, you spending $1,000 a month. But you worried about like every month. You're like, damn, God, I need this paycheck to pay my rent. But you spending $1,000, $2,000 a month on bullshit that could have went towards that, and you're not even worried. You don't even know that.
Yeah.
You're paying for subscriptions that you forgot you signed up for this subscription, and it's coming out every month. You know what I mean? So you gotta manage your money, and the easiest way starting off is like go take your last bank statement, print it off, grab a highlighter, and just grab two highlighters, a pink and a yellow one. Yellow highlight all the things that are fixed expenses, and the pink one highlight all variable expenses. So yellow, things that come out every single month. Pink is things that you didn't have to spend. And when you do that, you're going to start seeing how much you're spending on things that you really ain't need.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. I remember when I learned budget and had to look at them numbers and I was scared and I was like, oh, wait, I ain't really, okay, if I just cut that, I'm good.
Yeah.
And like, so young people manage. And then like you said, manage relationships.
You got to manage relationships.
Like what you just said, you say you got to pour. I be realizing like, dang, am I the person not pouring in, or am I not pouring in what I need to be pouring in? Because sometimes you could just have a relationship and don't realize, okay, I'm not really adding the value that I need to be adding, because sometimes you didn't gave a couple horses the water, but they didn't drink it. So you like, do I want to do the same thing with this person?
Right.
It's like you just got to keep being who you are.
You got to pour into relationships, man.
Yep. But managing, like you got to manage because you're the CEO of your life. Yeah. So if you can't manage your house, you can't manage no business. Nah. If you can't manage yourself, you can't manage nobody else. Yeah. And some people that are managers, they don't realize that, and they need to realize that, because just because you have the title of a manager don't mean you managing nothing.
Don't mean you managing anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nothing at all. So with entrepreneurs, we see the effects of exposure, education, and equipment. What do you feel like is the greatest power out of those three to transform someone's path, and why?
Exposure, education, and equipment?
Yep.
Education. Yeah, education. Because when you have education, it creates your mindset. Mm-hmm. And with the right mindset, anything is possible. So people are waiting on opportunity, but those that get on in this world, they don't wait for opportunity. They see it and they look for it, and if they can't find it, they create it.
Yep.
But that's mindset. You know what I mean? So it's like with the right mindset, you're not waiting on exposure. Yeah. Like, 'cause you may really be trash. That's why you ain't got no exposure. You know what I mean? Like, but with the right mindset, anything could get figured out. You know what I mean? So, man, I don't have the right equipment to make this. Like, we seen people blow up with a iPhone. Yeah. With a regular phone. No equipment. No crazy equipment. No mics. this. You know what I mean? You could do it with an iPhone, bro. You could people are creating movies with iPhones.
Yeah.
Literally movies with iPhones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, in an exposure, you have billions of people on a platform that if you put out the right type of content, you're going to get exposure. So if your content not hitting there, obviously, if it's not getting exposure, it's just not hitting. You know what I mean? That's just a fact of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the educational piece. It's the educational piece more than anything. Like when you had the right education, which is mindset. I'm not talking like a school education. I'm talking about just information and knowledge to apply to your mind and change your mind. When you have the right mindset, you're not worried about anything else. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yep. It took me to change my mindset to realize that I could start a podcast with just a phone, or I could post up videos every day of me off my phone.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you get the exposure, and then the equipment comes, because I started off with just a phone. Now I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
And the equipment came because the education came, because I had to learn more and research and be like, okay, this studio is available. Let me look at some other studios. Let me see, I know this person, and they know somebody that work here. Let me go talk to them. But if you don't have the education, you don't have the language to be able to get the exposure that you need.
Right.
Because you could be in a room, you had the wrong language, or you can't explain what your business is or something, and you missed that opportunity because you didn't have that education. So it's never a lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness. Most people are waiting on resources. Man, if I had the exposure, if I had the equipment, if I had this, if I had the money. Nah, it's a lack of resourcefulness. When you're resourceful, you'll make anything happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's about managing what you do have, and you're working in the realm of what you have access to. And as you work with that, then, things grow. But you don't have to have all that from day one. You just got to be resourceful. What is it that you do have? And when God sees that you being resourceful, what is it that you, like, people look at me speaking around the world now, but you didn't look at when I drove to literally 50 schools here in the city, and none of them called me back. Yeah. I pulled up, literally, bro. I have it on camera, put it on my documentary one day. I put up to every high school, middle school, east, west, north, south. None of them called me back. Yeah. But God was like, all right, cool, I see what he's doing, so let me open up doors for him. So now you see me speaking on stages in Kenya and India and all these different places. It didn't start off like that. I worked with them in the realm what I had access to. I had access to the people and the schools here in my environment, So once you do that, God's going to provide more, but you got to become resourceful. Yeah, it's just like you were saying earlier about when you in the game and you got to transfer it to a different lane. It's like we're resourceful to get through struggle. You got to be resourceful to thrive. Exactly. But that all starts with the education and the mindset of I just need to go to this networking event. I just need to apply. Yeah. Like, people would be like, how did you write a book? It really ain't that hard, to be honest. Like, for me to write a book, it ain't that hard. Right. Or how you do this, or how you do, it's not that hard. You really sometimes just go do it. Right. And if you actually go do it, you're like, it's not as hard. It's not as difficult as you think it is. It's not, but people don't have that mindset, like you said. Yeah. Let's see. Got 2 questions left. Let's see which one. So, storytelling. We value that. We providing value and the ability to think critical. So with those elements impacting your organization and growth, how have those elements impact your organization with growth and to be able to help you support entrepreneurs? Say the elements again. Storytelling. Yeah. Genuine value and the ability to think critical. How has that impacted the growth? Storytelling. As a speaker, storytelling is everything. Yep. I was with Les Brown like 2 weekends ago, and he said, never make a point without telling a story, and never tell a story without making a point. And that always stuck with me. You know what I mean, when I heard him say that. And so your ability to storytell, if you're an entrepreneur, it's the number one thing. It's the number one thing, because everything is stories. Like your vision, your business, it's all storytelling. Your founder story of how you came up with that, because that's what people care about. Yep. Like, it's all storytelling, So you have to have an ability to communicate in a way that pulls an audience in and gets people emotionally attached to what is it that you're saying.
because people act off of emotion, not logic. Emotion is what makes people take action. So if you don't have the ability to storytell, it may logically make sense, but with storytelling, it'll emotionally connect to somebody and pull somebody in.
Yep.
So yeah, that was for the storytelling. And what was the other points?
Genuine value, and then the ability to think critical.
Genuine value and the ability to think critical. Genuine value, that comes when it's time to relationships again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's always a way to add value to somebody. Again, I was just with Les Brown. Like when I'm there at his event, I'm helping his team put up chairs, pick up trash.
Yeah.
Like I'm not too high and mighty to do that.
Yeah.
You know, holding his bag.
Yeah.
Hey, I need you to run up to my room and grab this for me. All right, cool. Say less.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, it's just value.
Yeah.
You know, it may not always be the value on stage at that moment.
Yep.
You know, so people like to help people the way they want to help. Now, help people the way that they need to be helped. It may not be the way that you want to help. So I may be a speaker and be like, oh, I want to help your event by speaking. But they may be like, we don't need no speakers. But we do need somebody to help with these chairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
all right, cool. Let me help with these chairs then. Let me not just offer in the way I want to help you. Let me help you the way that you need help. You know what I mean? That's what the genuine value. And the critical thinking, bro, that just comes into analyzing. Like, you know, wisdom isn't found in experiences. Wisdom is found in the reflection upon experiences. So you got to take time to reflect and actually critically assess what's going on. And at a certain point in life, like if you don't have the results that you want, you just may not be as good as you think you are. And that's not anything to be upset about, but allow that to be like, damn, like obviously I'm not that good. So how can I become better? What tools do I need? What mentors do I need? You know what I mean? I paid a lot of money for coaching and seminars and events, bro. I've paid multiple six figures to go to all these different type of things around this world.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't as good as I thought I was starting off. When I started off, I'm like, oh, I'm perfect. And then you get around people. It's like, I just got around Les Brown this past week. I'm like, damn, I thought I was cold. Like, I see him speak in person. I'm like, okay, that's different. Like, there's another level for me to get to. He has a mastery level of things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you may not be as good as you think you are, but that just comes through critical assessment, you know, and being real with yourself. And just like, again, in the Bible is don't judge a tree by what the tree says they judge it by the fruit that it bears. Yep. So just look at your life. Just look at your finances. Look at your situation. Look at your experiences. And if they're not up to the par with your vision, then at a certain point, you're just not as good as you think you are. Yeah. And just assess your life and find ways to get better. And that's the only way that you can actually continuously build something. Yep.
I like the part basically adding value is serving. Like you can't never think that you're bigger or better. And because I've seen people like people will be like, oh my God, they're putting up chairs. They're what? Yeah, that's what you had to start somewhere.
You got to do that.
And like you said, you got to help people how they need help, because you helping them now, and you come into their event and you working the door. Now you actually in the event.
Yeah,
I keep seeing you. Now what you do? And now you get your opportunity because you keep showing up and you're serving and you're helping, you're adding value. Yeah. Even though somebody else be like, why you going there and putting up chairs? Adding value. You don't know who in this room.
Humility.
Yeah.
You gotta have humility.
Yeah. If you don't,
even at that event, you know, I'm sitting here, his team, like somebody comes to me, she's like, I just want to thank you so much. Like I really needed it. I really needed the help. Like you think they're not gonna remember that? Yeah. And when you're dealing with people that are at a certain level, you're either going to pay your way or serve your way. Ain't nothing free. Yeah. So people be wanting these handouts like, oh, I just want a mentor. What's in it for them? Yeah. Like my mama always taught me with them. Yeah. What's in it for me? That's what with them means. Yeah. The moment you talking to somebody asking, they're just listening through the lens of what's in this for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you either going to pay your way or serve your way. Very rarely are you going to find somebody that's just going to serve you in. And it's not where they feel like it's a reciprocal thing. You know, I've been blessed to have mentors come into my life and just mentor me. And the only thing that was in it for them was the heart that they experienced, you know, the fulfillment that they got from sharing their wisdom with somebody that they saw was actually, but like, you can't wait on that. No. Like that's like waiting on somebody to save you. Yeah. So either you're going to pay your way to get in these rooms or you're going to serve your way to get in these rooms. Yep. And you got to have humility to say, I'm willing to serve. Even at the level that I'm at right now, I'll still serve. Yeah. I'm not too good to serve. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta have that mindset. Like, if you don't have the money, then you better be ready to serve. You may be ready to pick up trash, carry bags, do whatever you got to do just to have that proximity. Yep. But if we all in this car and we going somewhere, it doesn't matter if you're in the passenger side or the trunk. when I get here, we get here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I pull up, we all pull up.
Yep.
But people be wanting to be in the passenger side so much. People be wanting to drive, and now we crashing out because you trying to drive because you want the spotlight. Like, bro, if you in the car, we all get here at the exact same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to have that servant mentality. Like, as long as I'm in the room, as long as I'm in the car, then, you know what I mean? It don't matter how I got there. It doesn't matter what is it that I'm doing. I'm just adding whatever value I need to add in order to keep this thing going.
Oh, yeah. You on point with that one. You on point because I've been in the car where we play other coach. He like, hey, yeah, you and CJ can get in the car. I done had to sit in the back. It might be one of the bigger kids in the front with another kid with him, and I just crushed it. But guess what? We get into the game, and guess what we gonna do when we get there? We gonna win. It didn't matter how we got there. We bunched up, we crunched up, we all like this, legs hurt. But as long as we stretching, we gonna win. Nobody was like, oh, I gotta sit back here. Like you said, long as you in the room, like that's one thing about me, and I noticed that's a good trait I have. I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up, and I'll stay. Okay, y'all good? Y'all got the chairs put up? Y'all need something?
Yeah.
Just to ask, because you never know, because you're going to be in that position where it's going to be somebody that's like, hey, you need some help.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that person. Now you seeing that person. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now you can help that person
Yeah.
that was you.
Yeah.
And you realize that because you're serving, like
Yeah.
you're never going to get nowhere if you don't serve. And if you don't have that mindset, then you're not going to be in the rooms that you want to be in.
Nah.
You're not going to be where you want to be because you don't even have the mindset to help somebody out. That's just like one thing that it grinds my gears. I don't know why I thought of that phrase, but when you open the door for somebody or you're at the grocery store and they walk past you and don't say thank you, and I promise I be wanting to smack the shit out of people because it pisses me off where you can't say thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't have to hold the door, and you walking in front of me, I'm looking at something. You just went in my view and now I can't see it, and you couldn't say excuse me.
Right.
Like I just don't get it. I hate the grocery store because of that. But it's just little things like that.
He said, "I hate the grocery store."
Yes,
I man don't even want to go to Target, Walmart no more.
because it's so many rude people and they just can't. The simple thing of a thank you, like that's not really hard.
Sure.
Or if you're, you hold the door. It don't matter. Okay, it's a couple men. I see 3 ladies behind them. I'm gonna hold the door for everybody until the ladies come.
Right,
It's little simple things, but everybody wasn't raised that way.
Yeah.
So last question. What are some things you're looking to break, build, or bridge through your academy, and how does it shape the vision for your future?
Man, I want to bridge the gap between, the next generation and their ability to get access to personal development faster in their lives. Like personal development changed my life. It changed everything.
Yeah.
Getting information of knowledge of self. It's the most powerful knowledge in this world.
Yeah.
And people don't have that, and it's like to be able to bridge that gap between that and between getting access to mentorship. Mm-hmm. The number one thing I could tell any young person, not even young person, anybody that want to progress, but definitely young people, is find somebody who has the results that you want in their life and figure out how is it that you can serve that person in order to pay that person or serve that person in order to get that person in your life to get the insights. Yep. It's the fastest way to just the biggest shortcut to success is mentorship. It's like everything that I did in my life, I didn't know. You know what I mean? When I first met my mentor, I was here in the city selling T-shirts for $20.
Yeah.
I met my mentor. He's like, you can start a real business. We could raise money off. I'm like, what? He helped me raise $1 million. I didn't know anything about that. You know what I mean? I didn't know somebody would give you $1 million for an idea. Like I knew nothing about that, but mentorship did, coaching did. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing that I want to do is through building out my academy, helping people discover their purpose, and then bridge the gap between this next generation and the generation of people that want to help. Because even in that experience, I started putting myself in rooms, and these are rooms where like not even 5% of the room is black. And less percentage of that is people in their 20s. You know what I mean? I just turned 30. So it's like I'm in here with predominantly older, whiter males, men and women, and a lot of them, they want to help. They just don't know how, or they don't know the connection, or they it's like my mentor can't come into school and speak, but he could put me on. Yeah. And now I could come, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's bridging that gap between, there's a lot of people, we have this mindset that like nobody wants to help. that's far from the truth. That's never been my experience.
Yeah.
Like, I find phenomenal mentors. I find phenomenal people who reach out and want to pour in and want to support. It's just people support you when they see you pushing your car. Nobody wants to help the car parked on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Nah, you want to help the car that is on the side of the road, but somebody's behind it pushing.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, let me help out and push this person.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, I want to be able to bridge that gap from the people that do have the success and they willing to support and help. They just don't know how. How can I connect them to the next generation in order to increase that quality of their life faster? And then they get the fulfillment piece of it, because everybody that knows something wants to tell and wants to be able to make a difference, you know, and provide that avenue for that. So that's probably something I'll be working with in the future for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's a language. It's the language of the older generation don't know how to necessarily speak to the younger, and the younger generation don't understand that you have to change your language to get into certain rooms and to talk to certain people.
Right.
So I think that's one of the gaps, because I work in schools, and sometimes I'd be like, what are y'all talking about? And I'd be like, oh, okay. And I ask questions to kids because I want to understand, what are y'all saying? Why are y'all saying that? What does it mean? So then I can understand, because my son is close to middle school and he'll be in high school before you know it. And it's like, I want to know this language so I can communicate with him in a certain way. Or you just have to understand, like my daughter, texting her is cool. You can talk to her that way. You can call my son, you know, that's he's more of a talker. You text her, you're going to get a response. You call, she might call back a couple of days later. So you have to understand where the language bear the language of the person that they like to be communicated to. But it's hard when people are saying, oh, nobody's going to help. And then there's people like, I want to help, but I don't see nobody. They sit in their car. That car look like it's broke down, but I don't know.
I don't know. So I'm going to keep driving.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, and putting kids and exposing kids, like that's another big thing for me is exposure. You know, going to like a Tony Robbins event, it changed my life, you know. And I was blessed through Tony Robbins and his people. And just his event, we raised $150,000. I've taken almost 100 underprivileged minority kids to his events. And it changed their life. But that's something that I didn't go to till I was, 25. Now I'm taking a kid that's 13 to this event. Yeah. And they're getting the knowledge that I got when I was 25, and they get the knowledge that most people, and I was blessed to get it at 25. Most people not getting it to their 30s or 40s. You know what I mean?
Me.
So it's like really exposing kids to transformational experiences that can increase the quality of their life.
Yep, that's always been me as a coach. I learned it from hardball. Take your kid to see a professional team. Yeah. And I've always been that way. That's something we haven't done it with the team we've been on, but we're doing that this year. Yeah. And just giving the kids exposure. For sure. Like with my son, people be like, oh, you're doing amazing things. No, I just want him to know more than basketball, know more than sports, because if he get my height, he ain't going nowhere. Right. So if he got all these other things and skills and tools he can use, and now he got businesses before he even get to the age of knowing if he gonna go to the league. I saw him with
the book too, bro. That was dope. That was
Appreciate it. Yeah. That was just exposure. Like, all right, you struggling with reading, but we can use your imagination and go write a book. Right. Boom. And it's been taking off. Like, he went to his librarian and was like, hey, I got a book. She even bought it. Now his book in his school library. So it's like me and his mom just not doing the work. He's starting to see, okay, if I open my mouth, people, I told him, I'm like, you a kid, bro. You got something good. Everybody's going to buy that. Everybody's going to support you. Right. You just have to talk. And he has the personality. Right. He'd be shy sometimes. Yeah. So I don't know. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate our conversation, because if people listen, it's certain people that I get on and it's like, it's a masterclass that they give. If you actually listen to what they're saying and take notes, and you're one of them people. Like, but I love to have high level conversations with people. It makes me feel like I'm doing something good on my end of my language, because I know where I was and how I would talk and different things. So I appreciate what you do. And I see what you do. And I know how it is to go to these schools and send emails and all that. And they be like, no, man, no. So I salute you for keep going, because I literally seen you when you first started with the T-shirts, and that was a dope idea. Yeah. And to see where you at now, man, is kudos to you for not giving up, because life been lifing, and you didn't took it to another level.
Appreciate it, family.
Yep. Tell people how they can reach you.
Yeah, so follow me on IG. I am Kusudi, Kusudi. Facebook is Kusudi Muithi, Muithi. For booking, for speaking, you go to KusudiSpeaks.com, and then for coaching, KusudiCoaching.com. And tap in with me. YouTube as well, Kusudi. So tap in with me.
Yeah, I watched the video you sent me. It was a good video.
I appreciate it.
I was like, okay, do I want to go aim that way? And then I the way I come up with my questions, but yeah, I was like, it was a good video.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on your platform, bro. I appreciate the conversation. You know what I mean? It's definitely been a dope conversation. And I hope that people watching this, man, would just take a lot of value out of it, you know, and actually apply it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not better than nobody, bro, at all. Like, I'm not, as a human, I'm not better. I may be better at speaking or coaching than you. Like, I'm great at those things.
Yeah.
But as a human, I'm not better than nobody. And whatever I could do, whatever somebody see me do, you could do something far greater. Why would I think Jesus said even the least among us could do greater than me? So why would I ever think that everything I'm doing, you'll never reach this level? Like, nah, bro, use me as an example. There's some people watching that's 20 right now. And they like, man, if he there at 30, and now I'm hearing this, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I hope that people watching this, man, just really take it and apply it, man. And if there's a way that I could support, reach out, DM me if you got a question or something, and I'll see what I could do to support people, man.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people forget that people are human.
You're human, bro.
And whatever somebody else can do, you can do. You just got to give it your all. And I'm that person, because I should be further than what I am, but I haven't gave my all to execute. And my word for 2025 is execute, because I have all these ideas. I have all this different stuff.
Make that your word for November 3rd, 2024.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Execution.
From now.
Yeah, because I got some things some ideas that, boom, I got to execute them. And it's like, don't get distracted by distractions and just execute. If I got to sit here at P30 until I got to go get my daughter from the airport, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go get some food first, but I'm going to have to do that because it's things that I want to get done and that I need to get done because it's going to help so many people of the idea that I have. So execution. So you just gave us the end of this. I usually tell people to give us something to go home with, but you just gave us something. But I need an underdog quote, and then whatever you got to close us out.
An underdog quote?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say it again, man. Your greatest potential is locked inside of your highest purpose. And until you discover your purpose, you'll never meet the greatest version of yourself. So that's my quote I'll leave everybody with. And, man, just living your purpose, man. I'm telling you, when you acting in alignment with God, things is way easier. Success it's hard work, but it's not hard when you living in alignment. Things just seem to happen. You know what I mean? So find that alignment, that purpose, create a vision for it, commit to that, and watch what you create.
And on that note, keep being great.